Well, hello, everybody out there in social media land. Thank you for joining us today, the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber, this whole month bringing you our Cultura y Herencia and what is cultural about what we do in the community, who we are as a community. And I'm so excited to have some fun special guests with us today. But while you guys log on and get situated, I want to start with the basics. And I always want to thank the supporters and the sponsors of the Hispano Chamber. And our sponsor for this month's webinar is our friends over at Walmart. Thank you so much to them. They have been always been a supporter of the Chamber, one of our biggest sponsors. We appreciate everything that they do for us. Their contributions really help to support the programs and the trainings that we do for business owners here at the Chamber, which helps enhance opportunities and resources that are available to our business owners. And so we thank them for everything they do. Always want to thank our partners at New Mexico Tech, who are the little elves behind the scene that help us for the past 6 months in this COVID world that we live in, really getting used to Zoom, webinar, and virtual events, and we thank them for their help with that. And then, of course, Angelique, who's back there hiding, taking care of all the technology here for the Hispano Chamber. And of course, our whole team and our whole staff, so we thank you guys for joining us. So this whole month, we have been working on our webinar series, which we have really been talking about what is cultural to us here in the community. And it's not always about being Hispanic. It's not always about being, whatever country or nationality you are. Sometimes it's about what happens in the community. And so we've covered a lot of things from military to our tourism industry. Next week, we're going to be talking with the people from Balloon Fiesta, because that is extremely cultural to what we do and kind of appropriate since it's Balloon Fiesta week and we're not having a Balloon Fiesta. And so we have some treats in store for you. But as we were sitting around thinking, what are some of the things that are cultural to what we do in the community? Everybody hollered out. The first thing was food. And so today we want to talk about how food plays a part in what we do in the community. So we've invited 3 chefs, well known in the community to probably many of you, that have really great things happening right now. And we just think it's going to be really exciting to highlight who they are, what they do, who they're with. And then we're going to talk food. We want to hear from the experts on food and how they come up with the menus and what are they doing because it's fall season and all the fun stuff. And in the end, we hope that you are going to get out and visit these guys, visit their restaurants, and really support our local economy because they need us right now more than ever. So we're going to introduce our panel today, and in no particular order, I'm just going to kind of start with how you guys are on the screen. But I'm going to go ahead and start with who is on my right, and that happens to be Tristan. So Tristan, if you could start us off, who are you with, and what do you do? And then we're just going to kind of start the conversation.
My name is Tristan Rogers. I am the co-owner and executive chef of Hollow Spirits, and I cook food.
And you do it well, my friend.
Yeah, we have a good time, and thank you so much for the support for the from the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. You guys have been amazing to us since we've opened, and we are very happy to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, and thank you for helping us today to organize some of your colleagues in your industry. So we're super excited. Josh, you're next.
I'm Josh Kinnan with Fork and Fig, and then also the Jealous Fork owner and executive chef. We cook delicious food as well, just like Tristan said, from enchiladas to burgers to salads to wraps. And again, thank you, Tristan, for including us in this.
We're excited. And Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, I'm chef and owner of Farmhouse 21. We are a farm-to-table restaurant here over in the northeast side. And we have roots in Italian pasta, as that's my background. And thanks to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Tristan for organizing this.
Well, I'm excited that you said Italian because I'm married to an Italian. And so every year for Christmas, our Christmas dinner is not enchiladas and it's not pozole and it's not turkey. It's spaghetti with sauce, as they would say in his family, sauce. Right. So gravy.
Yeah, gravy, ragu. Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about that. But so when we kind of, like I said, we kind of started the series, we were thinking about what are some of the things that really matter to the community. excuse me, and to our culture. And one of them was food. Sorry, I was chewing a piece of ice. And one of the things that I know has worked really, really well, and I'm going to kind of start with Tristan on this because I'm very familiar with Hollow Spirits and what they do. They always have this really great menu. So let's kind of talk about how you guys have like your staple pieces, and then I'm pretty sure seasonally you add some pieces. So we just want to kind of start that conversation with what are some of the main staples to the menu, and then how do you guys switch it up as chefs? You know, you're constantly having to be creative and come up with new ideas. So Tristan, we'll start with you.
Well, some of the staples that we keep on our menu definitely is our 50-50 burger. It's kind of our homage to New Mexico. We do 50% high premium beef chorizo, and then the other 50% will be short rib and brisket. We smash it together and make a patty out of it. We give you a nice cut of green chili, not chopped. We like to do a whole half that's roasted. We finish it up with some manchego cheese, and then we do a nice, I'm having a brain fart right now, and it's my menu. A chipotle mayo for it to finish it off with some greens and tomatoes. It's kind of, that's like our probably our staple dish here. It's our homage to New Mexico. People love it. It's our #1 seller. And I don't know, I think as a great chef, you always have recipes in your head. I know I can speak for Daniel and Josh. I mean, it's never ending. So it's always constantly something that you're learning every day. Recipes, you're reading recipes, you're writing recipes. So it's like, you know, it's something that comes very natural to chefs. And picking and choosing is difficult because, one, you're going to make people mad because, you know, oh, you took away this dish and that was my favorite dish. But seasonally, like our objective is to provide good food, but also get away from the monotonous of serving the same thing. Consistency, yes, everybody talks about consistency, but I think a chef should be consistent in experience and not in just what he puts out. So that's my take.
So true. And I also want to throw in there your little fry trio, because there's no way I can do a burger without some sweet potato fries and some marshmallow. I don't know what the heck. It's like heaven on earth. You guys should jar that stuff. I could just dip my fingers and eat it. It's so good. That's
funny because that dish, it's like an homage to my auntie, because she, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, she makes yams, and she puts the marshmallows on top, like, you know, super traditional. And that's what I eat for dessert. I don't eat pumpkin pie. I don't eat pies. That's what I eat for dessert. So when I thought of this, of the fry flight, I wanted to do different flavors. So we do the truffle, Parmesan, and bacon, and then we do the sea salt and vinegar. But then the sweet potato fries, you know, it's definitely an homage to my aunt. And then we make the fluff marshmallow sauce that goes with it. So, and that's another one. That's another big seller. That's another one I put on the menu last season, I think for summer, and it has not. I can't take it off now because people love it.
Yeah, don't take it off. We'll hunt you down. But it's a good accompaniment to the burger. It's a great little starter if you just want an appetizer, you want to share with friends, or if you're like me, I ain't sharing, so it's up to you. But and of course mixed with great cocktails, and we'll come back to that. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. But Josh, I want to kind of move over to you. Let's talk about some of the staples on your menu and how you develop your menu, and then we can move into some seasonal stuff.
Sure. Our green chili burger and our chopped salad are the two #1 sellers consistently for almost 6 years now. Our chopped salad's got arugula, Israeli couscous, diced tomato, diced corn, cranberries with a pesto aioli dressing. I mean, that has been #1 since day one when we started. And I think with the cooking, it's all a matter of balancing flavors. And same with the chef, you have to balance everything across from your finances to food costs, to everything, and you also have to put that into your food as well. And then being also seasonal. I mean, like right now, you have a lot of squash coming around, pumpkin, and all these wonderful things that you can add to include your menu and balance all those flavors and still keep it, like Tristan said, consistent and then across the board delicious.
Well, your chopped salad is delicious, and I love it because you said it immediately when you said it, it reminds me there, it's all chopped and it's just for me, that's a comfortable way to eat. So I love it. And so that's really great. And so what are some of the things that you're doing with seasonal right now? Is there vegetables? Obviously, I'm a fall girl, so I'm all about squash and pumpkin all day long.
So this new menu that we're about to roll out about the 13th of October, it's got a lot of seasonal stuff as far as a lot of pumpkin, a lot of Mexican gray squash, yellow crook squash, and a few other things that I'm going to keep to myself right now until we roll out the menu. But and you'll have to just come and check it out.
You're teasing us. Now we have to go see you in October. You're teasing us. I love it. I love it. The food is great, so I'm excited. And so speaking of great food, I want to move over to Daniel. And I know you said you have a little bit of an Italian background, but talk to us a little bit about, I know you're doing some great things right now. Talk to us about like kind of the staples on some of that menu, and then what might you be doing now for seasonal?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's always a balance, right, between what we do classically with our pasta, right? We have some dishes on the menu, the bolognese, ragu. We have porcini ravioli. Some of those things have been selling for a decade as our top sellers, and some of our lunch specials and so forth, like the blackened salmon, our chicken pesto. Those are our best sellers. We'll never take those off, right? But the balance comes within what we want to do between. So my background is, I went to 13 schools before I graduated high school. I lived in the New England area. I lived in Arizona, Colorado, California, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, right? So I went to a lot of different places. So in fall, it's a little bit challenging for me because what I try to do is I try to incorporate the ingredients from New Mexico, and I've been here for 15 years, and try to take where I think is home, and home is back east. So you have things like cranberries, maple syrup, right? That's all Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, the Berkshires, right? So how do we combine those things and bring them back? And beets and poppy seeds and goat cheese and all those little game animals we have. So I think when we do some of the seasonal menus, we focus a lot on similarities between what we have back east and what we have here in New Mexico. Like a great example is there's deer back east and there's deer here. So we do a lot with venison wrap, stewed venison and so forth, or a lot with goat cheese, right? Because people love goat cheese here. We love goat cheese back east, blueberries, cranberries, right? So I think we focus on those, trying to mesh my background with our culinary traditions of New Mexico as well, to make a great cohesive menu that, my day-to-day regulars and also my people who are adventurous want to come out and go to the wine dinners and so forth and see as well. That's how we mesh it.
I love it because, growing up, my family is from northern New Mexico. And so in the summers and on the holidays, from school, we would spend the time at my grandfather's ranch, right? And my grandmother always made goat cheese. And so we would always eat it. Now, back in the day, we ate it with tortillas and carob syrup. They did it that way. But I'm always like to go because it's just how we grew up, so I love that. Tristan, let's talk a little bit about what is your favorite thing to cook. It's seasonally or not. I know that you guys change your menu, which I think is fantastic, regularly. It's always a surprise. I know you have a few staples, but what do you love to make?
It's such a hard question for chefs to answer.
Comfort food. I mean, there's got to be some.
That's
your go-to. People want to know, what do you guys eat? Like, we eat like
cereal. We eat cereal.
Kraft mac and cheese with hot dogs.
Exactly.
That's what chefs eat. Chefs eat terrible. We don't eat great food. Like I said, I make Kraft mac and cheese and hot dogs for my daughter. That's what we snack on. No, I don't know. My favorite thing to cook is salmon. I just like it. It's so versatile. You can do so much with it. Nice crispy skin. I love the nice crispy skin and how, it tastes. I don't know. Salmon would probably be my favorite thing to cook. And
and you do great salmon. I've had it. It's delicious.
Thank you very much. Yeah. That would definitely have to be my favorite. Salmon.
Awesome. Chef Daniel, other than cereal, here's the question. What's your favorite kind of cereal? That's the real question.
He's like a fruit pellet kind of guy.
This is going to be a weird question, but the two favorite kinds of cereal, Wheaties and Honey Nut Cheerios. Straight up.
Oh, Honey Nut Cheerios, I'm in.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Right?
Other than cereal, what is comfort food? What do you love to cook?
I think it changes with the seasons, just like anything else, right? When you make a lasagna and you make 5,000 of them in 3 months, you're excited for that fall change, right? You're excited for the new fruit, the new produce, any new meats that are coming out. So I think it's all seasonally is what my comfort food is, right? Like when it's fall comes, I am really into fall foods, pumpkins and maple syrup and any type of salmon, like Tristan said, or trout or anything like that, or venison or game meat, right? But then in spring, I want to eat nice and light and clean and salad. So I think it's whatever's in season and whatever, when you wait for those days to become longer or days to become shorter, and that's what you want to cook to that season. So I think that's my favorite thing to cook. I mean, we call it, right.
Yeah. I'm a soup girl, so I don't care if it's pumpkin soup or pozole, I'm in. Anything with liquid in a bowl, I'm in.
Right. Josh and I did this dinner last year. I think it was last fall, and we did a smoked tomato with truffle. It was this amazing soup that was 100% awesome. Fall and late summer. Right. So it's just things like that really get me excited, that are my favorite to cook. I love to bring new ingredients and then bring back those old favorites that maybe last year we did a goat cheese and beet ravioli, and this year it's fall and everybody's looking forward to it again. So it's hitting those expectations of that's what people's perception of that season is here in New Mexico as well.
That's awesome. I love it. So Chef Josh, what do you love to cook? What is comfort for you? Not cereal.
Honestly, I mean, I'm from Deming, New Mexico. I'm a native of Deming, so
okay.
I mean, but honestly, like I love cooking a steak. That is like probably one of my favorite things on a charcoal Weber grill, and you just can't go wrong with a good, good ribeye that's super fatty. That's like probably
back to basics.
Yeah, exactly that, and pozole and enchiladas, because I grew up around it my whole life. So
yeah, you got to have chili in your soul if you're from Deming. So
that's right. You should come check out Jealous Fork, our sister restaurant. We've got tons of great chili.
I'm excited to do so. I'm very familiar with Fork and Fig, but I have not been there yet, so I'm excited to do so.
You said you like pozole, so.
I do. I'm in. Like literally, we'll be visiting you like next week. I'm gonna take the team. We're gonna visit. I'm excited.
Perfect.
So here's a question, you guys. Now I was kind of chatting with Chef Daniel and Chef Tristan before we started, but you guys have some really cool things happening within your establishments. So I want to kind of start with Chef Daniel. We'll go back around again. Let's talk about like your wine dinners, and then I want to just talk about some cool ways that you guys are driving traffic to your space. I know House Spirits does a lot, and so Chef Daniel, let's talk about that a little bit, about your wine dinners.
Sure. So we've kind of, during COVID, everybody's had to adapt their methodology of how they're going to conduct business. And so we are a brick and mortar restaurant, obviously. And what we've done is we've changed it from being a day-to-day service to we only run dinner service every other week for 2 days a week. And it's only 2 seatings. And we bring in collaborating chefs that I really wanted to work with. And maybe I didn't have the chance to work with, or maybe I've worked with in the past, or maybe our alignment for the seasonality is, I think, a good fit. So like upcoming in 2 weeks, we have a wine dinner that's going to be, but it's an open menu. So it's like almost like more of a pop-up restaurant than a wine dinner. And that brings in a lot of people, because people are expecting, like we asked before, what are those classic dishes you never take off? What are your new seasonality things, right? So people get really excited about doing these collaboration dinners, because then they can say, okay, if I'm doing it with Tristan or if I'm doing it with Josh, oh my God, he does these amazing things, seasonality. How are they going to collaborate? So that seems to drive a lot of focus and a lot of attention and a lot of publicity to drive people here to try new things. And what we try to do also is we try to do things that no one else in town is doing. Right? If we're infusing different things, if we're using different cooking methodologies, what are we doing to bring elevated dining to the scene in New Mexico, but keep it where people in New Mexico can still appreciate it? And it's not too far different. It's not too far West Coast, and it's not too far East Coast. So I think those are really working out for us. And those are how we're doing business now, because the day-to-day business for us is still drastically affected by the limitations by the COVID-19 restrictions.
Sure, sure. Well, I think that is a great way to introduce everybody to your menu. And before we close, for sure, we're going to be getting all the information, locations and websites and all of that.
Sure.
But I'm excited because I definitely want to come and see that. And not to mention, wine dinners and those types of specialty pairings with people that are in the industry, right, or wines or specialty cocktails really drive a lot of people that want to get out and experience stuff. So I think it's a fantastic idea, and I can't wait to go. Now, Tristan, there's a lot that happens at Hollow Spirits. You guys are very active in the community when it comes to everything from, all kinds of events. Take the night of the week, there's something happening at Hollow Spirits. But what are some of the things that you've done? Like, I've attended special dinners in the distillery before. What are some of the really cool things that people don't know that Hollow Spirits is doing and can do for them in the future?
I think some of the great things that we do here, community work, fundraisers, and other things like that for charity. As a matter of fact, me and Josh are actually in a charity kind of competition thing that he's beating me again in. Yeah, God, I can't beat him for some reason. I'm freaking going on 4 now. But anywho, it's for charity. The charity event is it's Eat Out to Lift Up. It's going to be this Sunday. You're to come dine in with us. It's ticket based. So if you come in and dine in with us, it's $75. If you pick up to-go food, it's $35. But all the proceeds go to who we have been paired up with as far as nonprofit organizations that have been helping feeding needy families during COVID. So it's for a great cause, and that's a lot of things that Hollow Spirits likes to do as well. As far as we also do the dinners where we have a bunch of chefs come in too, and we just had our last one, Duo. I don't know if you've heard of Duo, but they're amazing. They brought down the house here at Hollow Spirits, and it was a good time. We had a good time.
I love it. So one more time, that is this Sunday, correct? And is it all day? What is the information?
So I believe there's time slots. I think there's an 11 o'clock. I believe there's a 1 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 1 o'clock?
I think 11, 3, and 6.
11, 3, and 6. So you can buy tickets for these time slots, come in and dine, or like I said, you can pick up a to-go order as well. And like I said, it's going to each ticket, I think it feeds close to over 345 families. So if you purchase one ticket, you're feeding 300 and some odd families. So it's an amazing thing, and we want to come out in full force. Thank you for supporting local, but also support local people who are in need as well.
We're going to be doing a promo. It sounds like this, and I don't have the info in front of me, so I don't want to talk out of turn, but it's with Dara at Macy's in a few weeks. I think it's something. Okay, you all are shaking your head yes, so I guess it's something. It's okay. So we're gonna be promoting that for her. She's going to be on I think next week or the following week to talk about it. So that's exciting. So basically, I can go get food and Fig and food from Hollow Spirits, and then I get to vote. Is that how? What is this process that Josh?
It's based on how many tickets we sell, essentially.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Take the glory kind of thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll for both, so that day I'll eat really good.
Josh,
I'm excited. I love it. So Josh, kind of the same question. What does Fork and Fig do? What are some of the things that you guys do, or dinners, or what are you doing out in the community that maybe people don't know you do?
We do a lot of dinners. I do them with Tristan quite often. Same with DJ down John at Torino's, or a Farmhouse Tuna, I'm sorry. And we constantly do dinners around the community, like Tristan mentioned with Dara and this new thing on Sunday. And then also I do tons of caterings outside of work as well. Like, for example, we did one for 450 people in Algodones for a wedding. It was absolutely crazy.
I love it. Well, and I think that sometimes, people don't realize that you guys are caterers. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because my next question was, let's talk a little bit about how you guys are handling that now during takeout orders are probably, more than they've ever been. But what are some of the ways that you cater? What are some of the events you cater? Can we engage the community? For instance, here at the Hispano, we do a lot of catering because we always have guests. We have people that stop by and we kind of plan ahead. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's a couple hundred. we don't know. Now is a little weird because we have this whole, we're not open to the public social distancing thing, but we still do a lot of catering. So I'm curious. I'd like to hear from you guys. So we'll start with Daniel. Are you able to do catering right now? What's your status on that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot easier to do catering when we bring it in-house, like you said, where we bring it to the Hispanic Chamber Conference, as opposed to doing it. There's still a lot of requests, unfortunately, for people who want large event gatherings at their houses, and that's not something we can fulfill. But we've done a lot. We had a huge campaign probably April, May, June, where we did a first responders campaign. So if you bought a meal for our first responders, we'd match it. And we did very well with that. And it was Presbyterian Rust. We did X-Ray Associates, Press Downtown, HME, Medical Consultants, did all these amazing places where we could cater. And that's a lot easier because we can wear gloves. We can sanitize. All the meals are individually packed. There's no cross-contamination during COVID and all that so forth. But right now it's a little bit harder, but I notice people are getting more, as you said, more takeout, but more, I have a party of 8 people at my house and I would like some elevated food. Can you bring it to my house, set it up and leave? So we're doing a lot of those small caterings, allow us to really specialize, and then we can custom craft a menu because it's only 8 people, right? So whatever you want. And I've worked with Josh and I'm gonna work with Tristan, and we do these specialized menus and they're like, hey, I want a little bit of your menu, but a little bit of Tristan's menu and a little bit of Josh's menu. Can you make me a 3-course menu with a little bit of everybody's? Because I want to taste the ball, but I can't bring these many people to every restaurant over and over again. So I think we've really had to adapt those caterings and how we cater offsite and how we cater privately to get things done. Absolutely.
Wow, that's really exciting. That's never really thought about getting from a little bit from everywhere, but I love that you're facilitating that and pulling it together because it allows everybody to taste a little bit from each and really learn about the flavors that are around our city. We get our favorite places, we go hang out, we order the same thing, but when we get to taste from different places, it really opens, our minds to what's out there and our palates too, because we're not trained. We're not trained chefs. So Josh, but we know what we like, we know what we like. So Josh, tell us a little bit about how you guys are catering, or is that something that you're doing now? Or
we're still doing it. Obviously we have to adhere to COVID safe practices, obviously in non-mask groups or any buffet style stuff, but we will do individualized like Daniel said. And we've had to, diversify ourselves across the board to adapt to all this. I mean, it's a game changer, but it's also helping you in the long run as far as getting a hold of your takeout and learning that aspect as well.
Right.
It has been a game changer, and I touch on that. But before we do, Chef Tristan, the same for you guys. Now, I know that you guys do a lot of in-facility catering when you set up dinners, but do you really do a lot of catering outside of the building, I guess you would say, and can you do that?
We've tried in the past. It's just we're not set up to do outside caterings as of yet. That's something that we're definitely in the talks of expanding as far as catering goes outside of the building. But it's definitely in our future plans. It's just a matter of getting set up to do that. But like I said, we're talking about it, so it's definitely in the cards for us.
We can still call and order 10 burgers at a time, so that's kind of like catering. So.
Kind of. So it works out that way. But we want people in-house just so they can experience everything we have to offer.
Right.
Everything goes too. So, but it's definitely in the future.
Great. So, Chef Josh brought it up about, COVID, and I think it would be, I don't want to miss the big white elephant in the room, if you will. We're always curious. Something that we do here at the Hispanos, we really like to share best practices. We do it a lot. People will call and say, gosh, I'm stuck. I have an issue, a concern, a problem. And then I'm like, oh, I was talking to so-and-so and this is what they did, or let me connect you. And so this part is kind of, it's important to other people that are out there watching. You don't have to be in the restaurant business or a restaurateur to have some best practices to share. So I know that you guys have all had to adjust during this time, the last 6 months. So I'd like to just kind of go around and ask you guys, what has been the biggest challenge and what have you learned from all of this? And kind of start with Josh, since you brought it up. we get to go first.
I think the biggest challenge is keeping everyone safe, including your employees and your customers coming in. I think that's the biggest concern, obviously. And then the hurdles of the constant change of the governor with going back and forth on because of what's happening. I think that makes it very difficult trying to adjust of your inside capacity or outside capacity, and doing shift changes and scheduling with labor and trying, and then still meanwhile keeping everybody safe. I think that was the biggest concern. But now we've got a big grasp of it since we're almost 6 months deep into it.
So there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I always like to tell people, can we at least say that something positive came out of it? That's what we practice here at the chamber. We always have to adjust. We use the word pivot. I know everybody hates it. I say it every day. But yesterday I was actually doing somebody else's show and I was the guest on and we said pivot. And he said to me, you know how I spell COVID? P-I-V-O-T. And it just really hit me hard because every day is a pivot. Every day is how are we spinning what we already know to make work within those guidelines of what we can do to support and promote, but yet stay within those guidelines. So we understand, we get it. Same for you. Over at Farmhouse 21, now goes, you guys have a little bit of a change, but what has been the hardest part to work through? And then where are you today when it comes to COVID?
I think the hardest part, and the elephant in the room is everybody's got to wear masks. We're not the medical profession. So, us chefs, we work long shifts. I get here at 8 sometimes. I don't leave till 8 or 9. I'm wearing a mask for 12, 14 hours a day. And the same with the front of the house staff, right? The servers, they have to wear masks all day. Everybody has to keep it on all day. And I think one of the biggest things is we really focus on this restaurant is, right, Farmhouse 21 is a play on doing farm to table, working community, being community conscious, and doing, we were one of the first restaurants in Albuquerque to go to sugar-based straws and all this other thing. And now everything has to be pretty much single use, throwaway, or be able to wipe down. So I think that's one of the biggest things we had to adjust is kind of change some of our core practices to protect people, to say, okay, well, these menus that we print out, normally you can reuse menus, but now they have to be throwaway. Or the salt and pepper, you usually have a salt and pepper shaker, you clean it. Now you have to be little packets. You have to throw it away. So I think that's some of the biggest adaptations we've had to make, is kind of challenging our core beliefs to help people be safer during COVID-19, along with wearing the mask. And I think the food industry, the restaurant industry, is one of the best equipped to deal with things like sanitation and cross-contamination, because we deal with it on an everyday basis, right? We have to wear gloves. When you touch a piece of chicken, then you have to take off that glove and touch something else. You can't cross-contaminate, right? So we're very well versed in that, but we still had to adapt. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think one of the biggest things is, during the last 6 months, we've had to keep, when there was only patio service, that was a big thing for us, was, we pride ourselves on the atmosphere of the inside. We have a 75-seat beautiful restaurant, and now everybody's on the patio, which is beautiful as well, different experience. So I think that's how we've adapted.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. We had a webinar. It's been, I can't remember, it might have been July or August. We had one of our other members on, his name, the Morales family, Golden Crown Panaderia. Okay. And they were talking about all these adjustments that they had to do. They changed their ordering systems, and they even went out and got point of sale systems. It was just really incredible. But, we've had several restaurateurs on that have said to us, hey, a year ago, we're getting rid of plastic straws and we're figuring out plastic bags. Now we have this, and the restaurant industry just gets hit over and over and over and over. And, it's just a hard recovery every time. And so, what we say here is we are here. We want to support, we want to announce, we want to promote. And, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that people are visiting your establishments, because we get it. We understand it. We see it every day. We represent over 1,100 businesses in the area, and they all need us and they all need help. And restaurateurs have had it very, very hard. You're part of that glorious hospitality industry, which is tourism and hospitality, the third largest in our state and the most hit. So it's been tough. We definitely get it. Tristan, what about for you guys? And I know you guys made some adjustments in the beginning. You did hand sanitizer in the distillery and stuff, but what are some of the things that you've had to do during COVID?
Well, both, Josh and Daniel have really hit on all points. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not just not having butts and seats, which is what is very important as far as being owners and chefs, but it's everything that's behind that. Food costs, labor costs. You know what I mean? Those make or break a chef. You know what I mean? In the industry, and having to adjust how you do things day to day, because we're creatures of habit. Chefs are very creatures of habit. We have a routine. We have things that we do all the time, and then COVID comes around, and it's like, you got to change everything. It's like you said, single packet uses of things that we don't want to use, that we have to use. But also, like Daniel John said, we are probably the most, I would say, the most practiced in keeping things clean, safe, for people. So it kind of sucks when you keep getting hit with all these regulations, when we're the ones who are probably better at it than most businesses.
I was going to say, you guys probably have such an expertise in it, and you would think that of all industries, restaurants know how to do this. They're not keeping people safe.
Yes, absolutely. Like we do, the great ones do. I don't know about there's some restaurants out there, I'm sure, that aren't well versed in it, and I think as a great chef, it's not just great cooking, it's great sanitation, it's great with numbers, it's great with business, and I think these two are the best of the best, if any. So that's what sucks about COVID is that it's the regulations and the change and the constant changing of things. It throws us off of our zen, and we need to be zen as chefs, because it's, like I said, we're creatures of habit. But
it's an art form, and I think that a lot of people, and that's why I think it's funny, because it really tells me, when you guys are like, man, I get home and I need cereal, or because you guys that's what you do all day. You're creating, you're being creative in the kitchen, and you're coming up with really how to serve, people. How are you serving them in their taste buds? And right. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to make a lot of people happy.
It's funny, the misconception is most women are like, oh, I'm going to marry a chef and I'm going to be great. And, like, he's going to cook for me every day. And they're not realizing that we're at work in the morning cooking breakfast for other people, at lunch cooking for other people, and at dinner cooking for other people. So no, you are not going to eat great food. We're going to come home and we're going to eat
crafting hot dogs.
You know what? We say the same thing about musicians.
Mac and cheese and hot dogs.
You're right, because we say the same thing about musicians. We're going to marry musicians, and they're going to sing for us and serenade us. They're like, I do it all day, all night. I am not singing.
Exactly.
You want cultural performance. If you want me to cook for you, come eat dinner at the restaurant.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
And that's what my wife does. She comes and eats at the restaurant. So
we even get sick of our own food.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So as we kind of start to wind down the hour, I have kind of a fun question for you guys, because right now, regardless of what is happening in the world around us and with COVID, we are moving into a holiday season. And holiday season means for us food. That's what brings families together, community together, but it's what brings us all together. So what is your favorite dish? What is your go-to dish during the holidays? Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever you want. What is the one thing that we know is we're like, oh man, I gotta have that. When you get to the family dinner, like, Tristan's coming and he's bringing this. So we'll start with Tristan.
I don't cook anything. I'm being straight honest with you. I do not cook anything for holiday meals, because I do it here. It's y'all turn to cook for me. I don't cook Nerton. You ain't getting nothing.
Turkey or the ham? Anything?
Nothing.
Anything?
Nada. You know what I do? I do cook a turkey for my family, for like my my kids and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I make green chili stew for my wife, but I don't.
Ooh.
And if it gets out to my family right now, I'm sorry. I cook for y'all all the time. So,
I love it. I love it. Chef Josh, you got nobody can top that. So
Right. No, honestly, I always do the turkey. So we always deep fry it. So I'll brine it for 24 hours in orange juice and apple juice, some rosemary and thyme, and then just deep fry it. It's delicious. And that's
wow.
and somehow, like even Tristan said, he doesn't cook, but somehow I always get stuck with something regardless. It's just expected.
It's last minute. Can you bring the egg salad or whatever it is that you bring?
Right. Oh, by the way, can you just do everything?
Oh, by the way, can you just cook Thanksgiving for us this year? Chef Daniel, what about you? What is it?
So,
if there is?
No, it's funny. I think where all the chefs are the same is I don't cook anything, but I definitely linger in the kitchen. Right? I'll definitely walk in the kitchen and be like, what are you doing with that? What are you doing with that right there? Maybe you should turn the heat down. I'll walk up. But I think right, exactly. But I think what's important about
Little micromanaging in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, it's lingering, but they want it. Well, ask the chef. He's over there watching TV. Yeah, put some more salt on it. Just throw it out there. But I think what's important during the holidays is the big thing I like is it's that excuse to sit down on a big table and share all the food, regardless of where your background is, culturally, ethnically. You sit down and you share it with all your family. You got that drunk uncle, you got the little kids running around, you got Grammy and Grandpa, you got all that crazy stuff going on, but you're all enjoying the food and it's a big family tradition. And I think that's the most important thing to bring to any Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, any of those.
Why does every family have that uncle? I just want to know, because you could have no family and you still have that uncle.
The still guy shows up, right?
I think I am that uncle.
It's like, they didn't that
I think I am that uncle. Am I
Yeah,
that
if you don't know who it is, it's you.
It's you.
Yep, and if you're out there going, I don't have that uncle, it's because it's you.
It's you, right?
Yeah, I don't think I have a drunk uncle. Oh no, we do.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So it would not be cultural and traditional if we did not touch on, New Mexico's very own. And it's so funny. Actually was doing a webinar with some friends out of Colorado recently, and we got into the green chili competition. And I was like, why are we having this conversation? There is no competition. I mean, none.
Right.
New Mexico reigns supreme in the world of chili, and that's it. It's final. It's no competition. You can say whatever you want, but you cannot compete. And it was just a funny conversation. So I just have to say, because it is so cultural to what we do in our community, and how we raise our kids and how we interact at those family gatherings and what we do. We've always had some sort of chili on our table, on our plate. So what is some of the things that you guys have done with chili? How does chili play into who you are? I know, Daniel, you've been here 15 years. You're already a New Mexican. I mean, sorry, you can put chili on your spaghetti, but you're a New Mexican. So what things do you guys do with it?
Well, for me, that's a perfect example. One of the things we incorporated is we do a red chili lasagna, right? And it's nothing I've ever done. So it's almost the same thing where you have the carne asada, but you do a red chili lasagna. That's something totally different for us. It's every year, and how I incorporate it in my tradition.
Okay, I just text me when that comes on the menu. I am there. That is my thing. I love how people mix chili into non-traditional dishes.
Right.
And I have not had red chili lasagna. I am so in. That is yummy. Josh, what about you?
I don't know. It's pozole. My dad and I grew up when I was a little kid, and we'd always make it all the time, constantly. And then when I went to culinary school, I got those skills and kind of applied it to, the family's techniques, and tweaked a little bit. And now that's what I put on the menu at Jealous Fork. Now it's delicious.
Do you have like a secret to your pozole? You know how everybody in New Mexico has like their pozole recipe, and some, I don't know, they put a bay leaf or a star anise or I don't know, whatever.
I mean, honestly, it's just really good chili. You have to have the right chili.
Oh.
And it's I'm gonna give a shout out to Young Guns chili.
That I agree. That was my grandmother. As long as it was just the best chili. Yeah, exactly. So that's the secret. The chili.
It
Tristan,
is.
what about
you? Me, green chili stew. I make a mean chili stew.
So are you putting that on the menu? Did I hear something about green chili stew on the menu?
I might do. I wanted to put it on the menu, but I think the thing is it's a specialty thing that only I want to make, and I want it to be consistent. And me and Josh and Daniel here are always doing all these crazy endeavors, so I don't want anybody tarnishing the integrity of this soup, because I don't care who it is. I'm making it. Nobody else is making it.
So maybe what I need to do is do one of my big dinners. Tristan
There
knows
you
about
go.
big dinners, and
There
I'm
you
going to have green chili stew, pozole, and red chili lasagna. And I think that's what's going to happen. I get my chili mix. I can eat all your specialty food. Darn it, Tristan, you can get me some of that green chili stew you talk about all the time, but I haven't tasted it yet. So
it's very specialty. It's special. Okay,
I'm special, so I would.
You are
love
special.
to
I will make you the first time I make it here for the special. I will call you and I will save you a bunch of it.
Text me and I'm on my way. You know me. I love the fall. I love the winter. It's my favorite time of year. I'm so excited for what's upcoming. And speaking of what's upcoming, I really want the world to know, everybody that's watching, everybody that will continue to watch this, because this will be posted on our website, our social media, and we'll be sharing it during Hispanic Heritage Month. If you guys can tell us where we can find you, website, phone number, addresses, whatever you want to share. So I'm going to start with Chef Daniel.
Sure, absolutely. You can find us on the farmhouse21.com. The email is contactus@farmhouse21.com. And you can find a list of events, sign up for our newsletter, and that's where we publish all our events for all our wine dinners, all our collaboration events with these guys, plus more. That's the easiest way to do it, 797-4491, 505 area code, obviously. Call, and you can find out about them as well on there. So those are two best places to find about us.
You got it. Josh?
So 6904 Manal Boulevard Northeast, right by the Sheridan in Uptown, 505-881-5293, and then forkfig.com, and we are on all social media platforms.
Yeah, you guys, very, very convenient location. And what I love is that Daniel's on the other side, on the other side of town, and you guys are in all these really strategic locations. And I think, we have members all over the city. And so I'm encouraging them to visit all these places and try these 3 places that you probably never tried before. So I'm excited. Chef Tristan, tell us where you're at.
We're at 1324 First Street Northwest. You can find us just north of Mountain. Our phone number is 505-433-2766. You can find us all over the internet. If you know anything about Hollow Spirits, we pride ourselves on social media. So check out our Instagram and our Facebook, and that's where you can find us.
Awesome. Well, I have to tell you guys, I've had a blast today. It was a lot of fun getting to know you and your taste buds a little better, and really, really hoping to collaborate with you guys in the future. Like I said, we do a lot with Hollow Spirits. We really hope to do some fun stuff with Farmhouse 21 and Fork and Fig in the future. And most importantly, eat local, shop local, buy local, visit when you're deciding what am I going to do on Sunday coming up. You're going to get out and visit Fork and Fig. You're going to get out and visit Hollow Spirits because they're doing some great stuff to support the community, which is another much needed area. So
I take it for Hollow Spirits though. He's got enough.
I am being impartial, Chef Josh. I'm in trouble right now.
He's got plenty.
I'm being impartial. I might have to do both, And if you guys would like to do something really unique, grab your friends and family, get out and get yourself to Farmhouse 21, one of their wine dinners. And we're looking forward to that as well. So we will put your guys' links to the website and all that fun stuff on this post. And we're just encouraging everybody in the city to remember to get out and support local. These guys need you. COVID has not been friendly to our restaurants, and it's important that we are out there supporting, and make sure and tell them you saw them online and you wanted to come out and taste their delicious menu. And we hope to see you guys all soon. In the meantime, you guys have a great hump day, and we'll see you next Monday. We're going all over Balloon Fiesta. We have fun stuff coming up for the next week. We'll see you in October, which is actually tomorrow. So everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Shannon.
guys.